This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and I'm back for my second handicapping video this week. I just took a look at the Belmont Oaks. Now I'm going to do the Belmont Derby in this video. If you're interested in bonus free selections from California, from New York, head on over to the RunawayHorse.com. On the California and New York pages, you will find those bonus free stake selections. Daily free selections at HorseRacingNation.com on my Best Bets blog. You can head over to HorseRacingNation.com if you're interested in those daily best bets, and I will provide links to all those pages in the description in this video. My full cards from Del Mar will be coming up beginning July 16th. That will be their opening day of their summer meet. A lot of different packages that I offer there, and you can find more information over at therunawayhorse.com if you're interested in those full cards from Del Mar. But now let's jump into this race, the Belmont Oaks. It's going to be for Saturday, July 10th, 2021. It's going to be the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks, and it will be race 9 at Belmont Park. 1.25 miles on the inner turf course for 3-year-olds. And number 1 is Palazzi for trainer Mark Casse. He's run 10 times with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 2/3. And 5 times he ran last year, and then he's run 5 times so far this year. So he's fairly consistent, especially this year, finishing in the top 3 in 4 of his 5 starts, including in the Audubon Stakes last time out, second by 3/4 of a length. The Transylvania Stakes at Keeneland earlier this spring, second by a half length. This one's versatile. He can stalk the pace, but he typically likes to sit back a bit and make a late run. He did show a bit more versatility last time, but the pace was very slow. So I think overall from that inside post, maybe expect something similar to what he did last time. Not too close up, saving ground, hoping the speed comes back, and then hoping the inside opens up. The 2, Bolshoi Ballet for trainer Aidan O'Brien, your 7-5 morning line favorite. And I mentioned in my Belmont Oaks video that Aidan O'Brien shipping horses to the U.S., sometimes they come here and they disappoint. A lot of times in recent years that has been the case. He's capable of winning races, these big races. He'll win some grade 1s here, but a lot of his horses take a lot of money and maybe they just don't quite perform like they're expected to. But Bolshoi Ballet, I watched his race on YouTube. That was at Leopardstown on May 9th, that grade 3 race. In that group 3 race, he just romped. He won by 6 lengths. He tracked the pace setter. He took over, and he was just all alone at the finish. That was a nice looking effort. Last time out, 1.5 miles may have been his undoing in that group 1 company on soft ground, where he was 7th by 17 in an 11-horse field. So now getting back to 1.25 miles, he had back-to-back victories in group 3 races at Leopardstown earlier this year in Ireland at that 1.25 mile distance. And so this is a good distance for him. He's not a typical overseas runner that's going to be far back, and we'll see how he can perform for trainer Aidan O'Brien. Would not be surprised at all if he won this race, but again, don't expect much value. The 3, Safe Conduct, 15-1 morning line for trainer Phil Serpy. 5 career starts, 2 wins, and a 2nd place finish. In the Pennine Ridge, it was a grade 3, originally scheduled for the turf, running the slop last time out. He finished 4th, beating 13 lengths in that 5-horse field. He's pretty good on turf. He's had 3 starts with 2 wins and a 2nd place finish, but we still don't know where he fits from a class standpoint because the victory was in a maiden race and an optional claiming race. They were his 2 victories on turf, and we'll have to see how he stacks up class-wise. The 4, Sainthood for trainer Todd Pletcher. This one has never run on turf. Won the Pennine Ridge last time. As I said, that race was originally scheduled for the turf. They wanted to put him on the turf last time. They kept him in the slop, and he won that one as your heavy favorite. He made some noise earlier this year. He was an unraced 2-year-old, and so he started the year finishing 2nd by a head in a dirt sprint at Gulfstream, and then they stretched him out. He broke his maiden by a nose at Fairground 2nd time out. The Jeff Ruby Stakes, a Kentucky Derby race, points race, and in that race at 1 mile and an 1/8 on all-weather ground. He finished 2nd by a length. He had a troubled trip. Like the King, just got a better trip than him. If you reverse their trips, Sainthood most likely would have won the Jeff Ruby Stakes. He was probably best that day. Then the Kentucky Derby was just too much too soon. As an unraced 2-year-old, he just didn't have the seasoning to compete in a race like that. And he finished 11th by beating 12 lengths in that 19-horse field. And then the Pennine Ridge last time out. So now we're going to see how he can handle the turf course. He's handled all-weather ground. He's handled slop. He's handled fast dirt. So now we'll see if he can handle turf. The 5, Jour. This one was trained by Bob Baffert. Belmont takes over the training on this one. Now, Bob Baffert was never known to be a strong turf trainer. Typically, he didn't have a lot of turf horses. His turf stats weren't great, but this was a good turf horse when he was in the Baffert barn. His career debut He finished second, rallying from pretty far back from post 10 in a turf route, and then they put him on the main track second time out. He tried the rally that day in a dirt route, and he rallied to the lead, but then he weakened to finish third. So he was always better on turf. They moved him back to turf, and then he's won his last 3 starts since they moved him back to the turf course. They were all turf routes. A maiden win at 1 mile at Santa Anita on February 19th. On March 28th, an optional claiming victory where he set the pace and just kept on going. And then the Grade 2 American Turf as my top choice last time out. That day, on May 1st, on the Kentucky Derby undercard, he ended up stalking the pace and then falling back a bit in the middle and then rallying to win. So I like that versatility. In his maiden race, he sat in second. He took over. In his optional claiming victory, he made all the running. And then last time out, he rallied from 7th place in a 14-horse field when the pace was fast. So just depending on how the pace scenario is, Flavien Prat should have plenty of options. Belmont, excellent turf trainer, and he's probably going to be a solid threat in here. The 6, Hard Love, hasn't done much wrong. 4 starts, 3 wins and a second. He's 2 for 2 over the turf course at Belmont Park. Won his career debut at Belmont. And then in the Central Park Stakes, he was second. And then back-to-back victories in the Woodhaven Stakes in April. And then last time out at Belmont Park, a mile and an eighth on the inner turf course. He stalked. He won by a head from post 8 in a 12-horse field. So he's got some tactical speed. He's going to work out a good trip, and this is probably his toughest career test and his longest race to date as well. The 7, Tokyo Gold. This one coming in last time out ran in Italy and won a Group 2 by 4 lengths there. This is probably a tougher field in this spot. The other 2 victories in France against lesser company. So this one we're just going to see. John Velasquez is going to ride a bit of an unknown in this spot. 8 is Cellist for trainer Rusty Arnold. This one, 4 career starts, 2 wins and a second. After not running particularly well on the career debut, finishing 5th in a 10-horse field, he's come back and run well in 3 starts. Broke his maiden at Gulfstream in a turf route in February, missed by a nose in an entry-level allowance race at Keeneland, and then last time out a mile and an eighth in the Audubon Stakes. He beat Palazzi. He was able to make all the running. So he's one that can get forwardly placed if the pace is slower. Typically, he would probably be a bit further if somebody else is intent on the lead. The 9, Hidden Enemy. This one is 30-1 morning line for trainer Steve Asmussen, and he's still eligible for an entry-level allowance race. He's 1 for 8 lifetime with 2 seconds and a third. He was 4th in the Audubon Stakes, 4th in the American Turf. Seems a cut below these, and that rounds out the field. So now I will give out my top selections and wagering strategies in this race. I certainly think, obviously, the Aidan O'Brien horse is the one to beat. Hard Love should run well in this spot, at least at the early going into the stretch. We'll have to see how far he can hang in after that, but he's got that good tactical speed. He should make his presence felt throughout. Sainthood, I wouldn't be shocked if that one jumped up and ran a decent race in here. And then Bolshoi Ballet, as I said, the Aidan O'Brien horse, certainly the one to beat. But I am going to go with number 5, Jour, as my top choice. I liked him last time. I thought that was a very nice effort in that American turf. And I like how he's just so adaptable. If the pace is slow, he can go. If the pace is quick, he can close. He can track the pace and take over. So there's so many different ways he can beat you. And we'll have to see if he wants to go this far, the distance he hasn't seen yet. But Jour is going to be my top choice, number 5 in the Belmont Derby. And I'll play him in exactas with the 2 of Bolshoi Ballet, for sure, for Aidan O'Brien. He's definitely in the mix. As a long shot, Sainthood I'll throw in there. And then the 6, Hard Love. So I'll put those wagering strategies on the screen now with those exactas, and then that win wager on my top choice, Jour. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Make some comments in the comment section. Who do you like in this 2021 edition of the Belmont Derby? That will wrap up this video, and I'll be back next, and I'm going to be covering a preview for the upcoming Del Mar Summer Meet. Until then, good luck at the races.